Hey guys, and welcome back to my channel. Now, I haven't been uploading very much this year, unfortunately. I've been really busy with work and like a lot of other things and like my extracurriculars. But I thought I would go back and come back to my YouTube channel with a very slightly bigger video than I normally do. This time it's called How to Get into Harvard, which is probably the biggest question I actually get asked on my YouTube channel. So what I decided to do was I thought that personally I have no way of understanding how to answer that question by myself. I feel like I would give a pretty limited response, and so I went around asking other Harvard students what they thought their good responses to the question, and I just collated them all into one video for you. Please check out all their links in the description. These guys took some time out of their day to help me out, so yeah, please check out all their links in the description. Please like, rate and subscribe, and hope you enjoy the video.
Yeah, so it's definitely really tricky to say because people who get into Harvard, none of us really know why we got in. I think what's really important is just making yourself stand out in the application process because tens of thousands of kids apply and they're accepting like 5 or 6% every year. So it's really important that you are one of the 20 people that, if they pick 1 in 20, so one of the 20 people that they actually select. And I think, so part of the reason I think I got in is because my application was pretty unique. I mean, I'm from a relatively regular suburban town and it's in Massachusetts, and a lot of people at my school actually do come to Harvard. I wouldn't classify it as a feeder school, but I have gotten that, so I think it's about an average of 7 kids get in a year out of a class of 270, so I think that's still pretty high. But I think what kind of helped me stand out is that my application was really based on my love for Latin, which is not a very common language to study. And so I studied that for 6 years from middle school to high school, and I really emphasized that in my application. My supplement to Harvard was about Latin and why I enjoyed taking it, and I also used it as a metaphor, like a cheesy metaphor for life, which I think is what you should always try to do in your essay. And I also think that the essay is one of the most important parts of the application because it's completely free form. You can write whatever you want to. In terms of the Harvard supplement, it's optional and it doesn't really have a topic. So you write whatever you want to, so it really allows you to let your voice shine through. The other parts of the application are really fact-based, so it's kind of like, oh, what's your SAT score? What are your grades? There's not really much freedom into expressing that. So I feel like the essay is a really good opportunity to take advantage of. So I really felt that because I let my love of classics, like ancient history and Latin show through my application, it really helped me stand out. So I guess my biggest advice is just to find something that you're really passionate about, whether that be an academic thing like a language or a sport that you love or an instrument that you enjoy playing, something that makes you unique and that you're really passionate about. Because if you really care about it, it'll show, and admissions officers have been doing this for a long time, so they're kind of trained to smell BS. So if you're picking a basic run-of-the-mill thing and just BSing it, they're gonna know.
Right, so even with your standardized test scores or high school grades, that's all considered in view of other factors like your home high school or other things in your application. So even that's not strictly necessary. But I probably, if I had to say one thing was necessary, that would be intellectual curiosity. And there are, so common folklore has it that there are 2 types of people that Harvard admits, the well-lopsided and the well-rounded. And the well-lopsided would be people who are exceptionally strong in 1 or 2 fields. And the well-rounded would be people who are the Renaissance men and women of our age, I suppose. And so for me, I mean, I couldn't be sure with 100%, but I have no doubt that my activities in music composition played a big part in my application and
So I personally think I got in due to my extracurricular activities. So I did a lot of robotics in high school. If anyone's ever heard of RoboCup, we built soccer playing robots on my high school team, and that was like a major consideration of my application. But besides that, it's standard affair of having relatively good grades, high SAT scores, and just really being able to express my passion for a topic or for a subject. Specifically, like in my case, it was robotics, but I really did try to convey that I wanted to come to Harvard to pursue a passion of mine. And I think that's what at least a lot of admissions officers are looking for, is reasons as to why you want to come to Harvard as opposed to other schools. So Harvard has a RoboCup team, which I was very interested in joining at the time. I'm currently the president of that team, actually. So yeah, it's a lot of really just trying to figure out why you want to apply to that school and why you think you'd be a good fit, and really making sure that that's portrayed in your essays and interviews.
I think the main thing that I at least tried to highlight was that there are some things that I care about, I cared about back in high school and I still care about now, at least for some of them, that I really try to emphasize that I probably cared about way too much for my own good, basically. And I think Harvard was wow, this guy's very passionate about things that are perhaps valuable, and maybe they were yes, we want you. So specifically, I did a lot of I did a lot of math in high school, and I did a lot of science-based competitions and stuff. So for example, our school had what's called a science bowl team, and I took that very, very seriously back in high school, at least to a certain extent, and really wanted our team to do well. Really wanted I really wanted myself to do well, and try to highlight that I really like these sort of things. I think Harvard doesn't want people who are, I want to get into Harvard. Harvard is my dream school. This is where I want to be. I think that Harvard is looking for people who are more, these are things that I'm really passionate about. Maybe I love music, or I love math, or I love poetry, or I love sports, or something like this. If you really show if you show some sort of passion to something, I think Harvard will really like that. And if you show passion to 2 or 3 things, that's even better.